My introduction to the spiritual aspect of Hindu life did not come till I moved away from India and went to Mexico. That was the first time that I came in touch with people that did something other than what I was raised with. And it wasn't until I went to Argentina that I started yoga. And I had a teacher who would come home every day. No, not every day, but 3 days a week, because I had a neck injury. And that was it. I was past 30 then, my first introduction to something that's supposed to be part of my culture. It's supposed to be what I'm raised with. But you see, what has happened for the most part in India is that you tend to be raised with a lot of religion, a lot of ritual. And my parents were very, very devout. They believed we followed all the religions. I knew all the mythology like the back of my hand. And for years, for 10, 15 years, over 3 continents, I taught what we call Bal Vihar. To children, I taught Indian mythology. So that was my background. I had no idea about what meditation could do, what breathing could do, and what was all the connection. I didn't even understand it. So yeah, yoga taught me a lot of body awareness, to understand and move the body from inside, and to understand where healing begins. And for the first time, I found that my the highway of my mind, that thing that keeps talking, that noise, that slowed down. Sometimes you would get into the yoga nidra part, the time when you're in shavasana, and you'd wonder how you got there. Because you're so intent about getting into the position. It is so intent about trying to do the best that you can. And at that time, so intent on getting over the pain. So much pain when I did each asana. So much pain. And the breathing, that was the first time I learned breathing. And I could not take a full deep breath because I was in so much pain. Little by little by little, the yoga stretched my spine. And I can't believe that today I have full range of movement. That was amazing. That was like a miracle for me. But I stayed with the yoga, I stayed with the body, but I never moved into the mind for 10 years. I didn't know what it was all. I didn't know what this connection was. But I knew one thing. I was a bundle of stress. I was angry all the time. I was disillusioned with my life. I was not getting what I wanted. I could not find a job. Things were not working in my way. I felt I was destined to do bigger things and something was holding me back. I was not a happy person. And what do you do what happens when you go to a doctor and you tell them that you're not happy?
Send it to a psychologist.
First thing is Zoloft. First thing is Prozac. This is the first thing that's done.
Yeah.
Right? And I took the pill and I felt great. Everything looked great. Everything was fine. 4 years. And then perhaps the pill was not enough. The highway began again. And at that time, somebody, I don't know who it was, I think it was a friend of mine I was hoping would come on this show. She told me about an organization called Art of Living, right? And there was this Guruji coming, and you come and meet him, Shri Ravi Shankar. It was a small gathering. Yeah, I met him. Not very impressed at that time. I was not ready. Yeah. A couple of years later, again, the opportunity comes up and someone tells me, learn the breathing, because life has become, now I've got you see, when things are going bad and you're not aware of what's going on, um, either you will find a guru or find somebody who will take you down that path, or the universe will conspire to shut you down. And that's what happened, right? Things were just not good in our lives. And that's when I started learning the breathing. Initially, I was not very good. I was not good following it. I was like everybody else. I'm like, what? It's just breathing. How is it going to help me? What's it going to do? But then I saw my husband and my daughter doing it every day. They took the course too. And I felt very guilty. So I was doing it every day. And soon I learned the meditation, and I went for just one course, a silence course, and it blew me away. It showed me what the power of meditation when combined with the breathing. And I decided to write a book. This is the book I wrote, right? And in the course of doing this is when I started doing the research. What is it, this secret that the ancients have given us? What is it? Does it work? Is it just something? But you see, the problem with us is that we need Western science to validate everything we need Western science to validate everything that's been given to us. Once they say it's okay, it's fine. How old is Western science? About 100 years old. And how old is this technique that we're talking about and this science that we're talking about? The Hindu philosophy, the old philosophy, 2,000, 3,000 years old. It has worked for that much time with people. It has worked. In the last 100 or 200 years, what has happened as a result of the food that we eat, the sort of burst of communication. See, earlier it was fine. We lived in our little cave. We knew 10 people around us. We went hunting, gathering, saw a couple of animals, were killed, right? There was stress, definitely. But life was simple. Now with this continuous highway of knowledge, highway of information, there came in the last 30 or 40 years a bunch of diseases that seemed to have no reason, but all were attributed to one thing, which Hans Selye, he was a scientist, labeled as stress. So, even till today, if your blood pressure is high, you get blood pressure medication. If your cholesterol is high, you get cholesterol medication. If you've got a thyroid problem, you get thyroid medication. But there is something that connects it all. The body is one unit. It is one unit. And when you think about it from the Vedic viewpoint, your eyes open, your meditations change, and you start practicing you understand the power of practicing breathing. You see, all thought is vibration. It's energy form, it's vibration. All thought is vibration. And your body consists of air, space, and water. And we know from previous scientific experiments and from our religious rituals that water transports vibration, right? You see that. How are you baptized? In water. Where do we go to absolve ourselves of sin? We go into the Ganga, take a dip in the Ganga. All our rituals are done with a pot. The water is energized and that is thrown around. You go to the temple. What do they use? What do they give you after the mantras are chanted? They give you water to drink. The idea is that you ingest that energy. Why are we going to temples? Why are we going to churches? To absorb the energy. What is it that you feel when you go and see a saint? When you go and see a guru? And if you haven't seen one, you need to go. You get this immense sense of peace because they release this vibration, right? But such peace that we get when we go to a temple, when we go, is temporary. It cannot last forever. We need to keep replenishing it. So we come to the Indian style of explaining what stress and disease and what all this is all about. In your body are 7 different energy centers. They move, they are oral circles, wheels that move in an anti-clockwise direction. They're capable of absorbing vibration. And when your mind is consumed with negative thought, is consumed with your fears, with your anxieties, with your misgivings, right? These energy centers get blocked. So there is no free flow of energy. And the word is chakras, it's not chakras. Chakra.
With 2 Ks.
Chakras. Chakra. Chakra means wheel in Sanskrit. Wheel. A wheel that a moving, revolving, rapidly revolving, it's difficult to describe, but this is an oral kind of a movement, and it moves in an anti-clockwise direction at different centers, and when you meditate, you can feel it. These things absorb. So we have 7 different chakras. They start from the base of your spine. So when you breathe, when you do your pranayama, while the breath enters through your nostril, the prana enters from the base of your spine. The spine is considered to be a coiled serpent controlling all the energy. And as the energy moves up your spine and gets cleared, your whole outlook changes. Your whole mood changes. When you do pranayama, you are clearing your chakras. You're dislodging this energy glitch. When I do the breathing and the meditation, today we'll do a chakra meditation, I go to major energy centers, the forehead, the throat, the chest, the stomach, right? These are the main flows of energy. These are the main spots where the energy catches and it doesn't flow. And each one of us, each person, we're very unique. It's not going to happen in the same manner for all of us. So, I mean, we are unique creatures. The same scene that we look out at will affect each one of us different. Someone will see the mango, someone else will see the tree, someone else will notice that the hedge is not cut. Right? We're all different. Our perspectives on the same event can be totally different. So the way we accumulate stress, or where we hold our stress, is going to decide what disease we get. And there will be disease if you don't clear your chakras.
The nervous system.
It is not the nervous system. It is the nervous system are actually physical bodies of energy. The chakras are just energy centers, right? It's something difficult to imagine, something difficult to, it cannot be photographed, it cannot be located, but it can be felt and experienced. And that's the important part. That's the important part. When you have glitches in your chakras, for example, if you have it in your chest, you will develop heart and respiratory diseases. If you get it in your belly, you're going to get stomach and gastrointestinal disturbances. And we have each chakra associated with a body part. Pranayama clears chakras. And when you do pranayama and you follow it up with meditation, that's the magic. That's the magic. Then, once your body is cleansed, then you are able to receive the knowledge. Then what I say in each one of my talks, or what anybody else says, makes sense. Makes sense. Till then, you will be like I was 15 years ago, attending these beautiful talks, meeting these great masters and saying, if you are not ready, it doesn't matter who talks to you, it doesn't matter what comes your way, you will not be able to understand it. So in the book, I have sort of explained which body parts are associated with each chakra. So let's begin with the first one. We have ascending prana and we have descending prana. Okay. The reason we do pranayama, that is the breathing techniques, and the reason I ask you all to attend breathing workshops, is to allow this prana to ascend, because ascending prana always brings the good emotions, the good thoughts, the good vibrations. Descending prana is the one that brings the negativity with it. This is the reason we do the and then your emotions change accordingly. So let's go to the first chakra. The first chakra is your Mooladhara. It's your earth element. It is where you're grounded. That's where it all begins. It is at the base of your spine. Energy enters through this chakra and ascends your spinal column. When the energy is ascending, it ascends as enthusiasm for the task at hand. You feel ready to do things, right? And when it descends, it's inertia. It's a feeling of like, I don't want to do anything anymore. Right? The physical organs are the gonads, the adrenal glands, the kidneys, and the spinal column. You don't need to know this. This is not important. The second chakra is about 3 inches above. It is behind your reproductive organs and it's called the Swadhisthana chakra. This is your center for creativity. It is the same energy. When it's ascending, it is creative. It can be used to get a new job, to write a new book, to make some pottery. And when it's descending, it's sexual energy. Right? So the same energy can be used for 2 purposes. Right? You can explaining this to children makes a lot of sense. You can use the energy for what you want. The Swadhisthana can be used to do something creative or to do something that's just going to deplete you, right? The second chakra is the water element.
Third.
No, the second chakra, Swadhisthana. I'm still there. I'm still at Swadhisthana. Is the water element, and ascending the organs are the spleen, the kidneys, and the bladder. The third chakra is your Manipura. It's in the middle of your belly. Okay, it's the fire element. This is why we always say that eat your food when the sun is highest, because the fire element aids digestion. And your main meal should be taken in the middle of the day, because the Manipura chakra is active at that point. It's the fire element. All right? When prana ascends, it's joy and generosity. And when prana is falling down, it's greed and jealousy. Don't you feel something in your belly when you're jealous of someone else? It's always something that you feel here, right? So then, the fourth, basically the physical organs are all your pancreas, your liver, your stomach, and all your digestive organs. The fourth chakra is called Anahata. It's the air element. And naturally so, this is where we're breathing. This is where the breath is happening. This is connected with your heart and your lungs. And there's only one emotion that reigns at a time. When it's ascending, it's love. When it's descending, It's fear and hatred. Fear and hatred. And usually only one emotion reigns. So if you feel hatred, then you can actually fly a plane into a building, because at that time there's no love and there's no fear. Only one emotion reigns. When prana is ascending, you feel love, the emotion. And when prana is descending, you feel fear and hatred. And the next chakra is in the base of your throat, and that is called the Vishuddha chakra. And the Vishuddha chakra, the physical organs are your thyroid, parathyroid, your vocal and your bronchial apparatus. When it ascends, it's gratitude. When it descends, it's grief. So you feel the gratitude always in your throat. When you feel the grief, your throat closes and you can't talk. You can feel these sensations very clearly, right? The sixth chakra is the Agnya chakra, and I always do a lot of the meditations from there. It is the light consciousness, and it comes in between your forehead, a few inches within. Ascending chakra is awareness, descending is anger. What do you do when you get angry? This, right? You knit your brow when you're annoyed and when you're angry. You see, we have little glimpses of it in our physical form which we ignore. But this is how it happens. And the seventh chakra is at the top of your head, and it's connected totally with bliss, with the pituitary gland. So think of it this way: enthusiasm, creativity, joy and generosity, love, gratitude, awareness, and bliss. That's rising prana. And when it's falling, it falls from bliss to anger, to grief, to hatred and fear, to jealousy and greed, to sexual energy and inertia. When everything works exactly as it's supposed to work, vibrations are right, everything is working fine, every cell in your body will work and do what it was designed to do. And there is harmony, there is ease. You feel good, you feel positive, you feel bright. What happens if this is not cleared, if there's no mental clarity, if there's no harmony in the body? You have dis-ease, disease. When these channels are not cleared, it will manifest as disease. This is the Vedic explanation. This is why it is important to have a daily practice of pranayama and breathing. Whether it's 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, the value added to your life is unbelievable at whatever stage you're starting. It doesn't matter. If you start today, you will be healthier than you were yesterday. This is the truth. The choice is yours.